Hi, this is John, and in this short video, I'm going to give a quick summary of mandate levels. I've done longer talks about this and written multiple blog posts about it, but hopefully we can just keep it short and give you a quick summary. What are mandate levels and what problem are we attempting to solve here? So the mandate levels are a lettered list of mandates. You could think of these as, decision authority or sphere of responsibility or scope, and it starts with build exactly this to a predetermined specification. Very, very, very prescriptive. Goes to build something that does a specific behavior. So it's a little less prescriptive. Build something that lets a segment of customers maybe accomplish some task or activity or goal. It's a little less prescriptive. B and C are in some circles called user stories, but I just call them B and C. D is solve this more open-ended customer problem, like, oh, it looks like the customer service agents are having trouble keeping track of the call details. That's a bit more more open-ended customer problem. E, explore the challenges of and improve the experience for a segment of customers. So go out and make the accountants awesome. F, increase, decrease the metric known to influence a specific business outcome. So could you please lower the mean time to onboard or something like that? G is like more strategic, explore various leverage points, run experiments, some big business outcomes. So you don't even have a clear sense of the problem at that point or the opportunity or how you could solve that. And you need someone to sort of explore and figure it out. H, short-term business outcome. I, generate long-term business outcome. Whenever I would do this activity, an example for long-term business outcome is I'd say, okay, Mary, come back with $10 million by the end of the year. Sound good? That's kind of an I level thing. But certainly there's other long-term business outcomes that have nothing to do with revenue, but you get the idea. So what problem was I trying to solve with the mandate levels? Well, I would hear people talk about empowered teams or autonomy. And then I would go to different companies and like one team's autonomy was, oh, they let us own A and B here. And that feels like autonomy. That feels like empowerment. And you go to other organizations and they'll be like, oh, well, our teams just kind of run, A through G up here. So the purpose of this was to allow people to have a more productive discussion about the mandate levels or the sphere of autonomy that they had in their company. It's actually a Miro template. I'll share with you the template. But you can use this for many things. Like just in the example I just gave, you could think about two teams here. Team one bumps up against the G level, so they're A through F, whereas team two might be A through C. And depending on the context, that might just be perfectly fine. One is not better. That's an important thing here. This isn't like a maturity scale. You could have very successful companies in a similar domain, one that has teams that do the A through F type of stuff, and the other that has teams that do the A through C type stuff. Okay, in this next example, you could use the mandate levels to think about roles or how the organization is set up, right? So in this example, the GMs kind of own these business outcomes, the product managers do this research and discovery. Occasionally, the product owners kind of tackle more open-ended problem. If the product manager frames the problem, they're able to give it to this product owner. And then this product owner, so you can see in this company, there's very sort of defined boundaries between these groups. You see this model a lot in like super large enterprises that don't necessarily sell digital products, that have a kind of legacy IT org that they've rebranded as an agile org or a product org. You can sometimes find these divides. Here's another example. You could compare two teams in your company, I guess. So in the leftmost model here, there's much more sort of strict role boundaries. And in the rightmost model, it's much more flexible. Developers and designers and product managers overlap. Anyway, so what are some tips for using this particular model? First, make it clear that it's not a maturity model. Two, make it clear that you should discuss what's actually happening, not necessarily what you wish would happen, at least in the beginning. Three, remember that you can use this canvas for pretty messy drawings, right? It's okay if you get something that looks like this. It's okay that if you say, we do some initiatives that are here and some initiatives that are down here. Another thing to make clear to your team is that at any given point, there's work happening at all these levels. So one is not bad. I mean, at some point, whether it's a developer sitting down and saying, wow, I should kind of think about building this thing and like what's kind of the spec of this thing, or what am I going to try? In which case it would be like this. You could also have another setup where someone is speccing it out for that person. But at the end of the day, someone's coming into work and doing this type of work, and someone's coming into work and worrying about the long-term business outcomes. So by reiterating to the team that work is happening across all these levels all the time, hopefully you don't take away a stigma from people doing work at a particular level. Hopefully, this was interesting.